Hello and welcome to the Fibonacci free video for Monday, February 7th. This is David, and we're going to be taking a look at the S&P 500 futures. And you can see here with the voodoo lines overlaid on the chart, which is an application of Fibonacci analysis using a proprietary set of tools that I created, right? We nailed the high here in the ES March contract from back here in January at the voodoo tree line. These are the second most important of the voodoo line levels, but behind the fire line, which there are none of in this immediate area, right? And from there we've sold off. Now, the third most important set of levels, the ones just below the fire line, are these white snow lines. And while those didn't end up giving us a sort of an exact spot to find support for the move up, right? We can certainly see that that the interplay with those and then these sky lines down here held support that gave us a boost back above this 4371 snow line and up towards this upper snow line, which we haven't been able to hold above, right? But given that these are the most important levels beyond the tree line up here, getting and holding this 4538 level, right, would be necessary to see us kind of erasing the implications of this sell-off. Meanwhile, finding resistance below these would keep the focus downwards. Now, stuck between these two snow lines, there are a lot of question marks, and we need to try and figure out the implications of them if we want to try and anticipate what the next move, outside of this range is going to bring. So, look, we can look to other Fib analysis. We can look to patterns. I think there are elements of the pattern which suggest more upside. I think there's some reasons to think that that the bounce from Friday's low was a little bit of a trend move, and that the pullback, right, from Friday's high is just a retracement of that will head back up. But the very short-term patterns are murky, and that interpretation would, I think, require us to hold support at or above this voodoo skyline, which is right at Friday's low. So these levels keep coming into play, right? And we're at an important spot here tomorrow, or here right now, heading into tomorrow. Right, we tried to get back below this upper skyline here today, and we tried, but closed above it. Right, so this late day sell-off today, we've recovered from it some, and maybe if this holds, it sends us back up. But who knows? It's not easy to play this overnight on the potential that maybe we gap up and get a better entry. Of course, a little more of a pullback tomorrow that ends up holding Friday's low might be better. And as I mentioned, below Friday's low, I think bets are off and we need to regroup. So one of the things that we can do is layer in the micro voodoo levels. These are constructed in much the same way, but they generally give us smaller degree swings. They're not always quite as precise. So we've got an interesting level up here on the 5-minute micro voodoo chart up here at 4534. We're a little shy of that on Friday's high, right? But support above there would be beneficial, right? And I'll be watching a couple of things here overnight. This 4487 level, if we can find support above there, I will be short-term constructive so long as we do that. You can see that we closed pretty much right there on Friday, right at the end of the day. Got a little boost overnight, came back down below it intraday today, right? And so, below that, I'd want this at least overnight to feel good about things. I'd like to see any breaks below this snow line here coming in at 4476. 44.76 quarter. So I want to see them quickly recover support to keep 44.87 in our sight. So that's what I'll be watching here overnight. And seeing if it gives us any clue to how things come together here on Tuesday, and of course maybe even trading the futures a little bit if it looks like there's a decent setup into support that's holding. So I hope you found that useful, and I will see you at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me